To merge or not to merge during an import. Let's talk about a couple of circumstances where it is a good idea to merge. When updating data from an existing voter list that contains a Secretary of State ID. Now that data may come from your voter election board, your Secretary of State, but you've already got existing data and you want to amend that data with new data. That's a time when you do merge with or during the import. If you had sent data out of your database to be updated, for instance, you may have wanted to be updating your data with a home phone or some email addresses and such, so you've exported that data from Trailblazer, and now it's time to re-import that data and append that information to the existing records. That would be another situation where you would do a merge during import. Pretty much everything else falls under the category of not merging. The reason for it is when you bring data in, you can always merge it after the fact. If you make a mistake during the import in your mapping process, you can always reverse it by doing a delete of those new entries that came in. But once they've been merged in, it's very difficult to reverse that process. So let's go ahead and show you what I'm talking about as far as updating or appending and doing a merge during import. I have a list of voters on my screen here that show last name, first name, home phone, and you'll see that the cell phone, business phone, and the email are all empty here. I've appended this information in an Excel file, and I'm going to match it up based on this number here, the registered ID column, which is considered the Secretary of State number or the voter election board number. We refer to it as the registered ID. The Excel file we're bringing in has a column labeled SOS, and that'll have the registered ID number on it. If you were to do a visual comparison here, you'll see 1492095 for Elisa Abrahams, and you'll see 3292491 that matches with Erasmo Alvarado. So we have the match there on those numbers. We've added some columns over here for the cell phone, business phone, and an email. I've already saved that as a CSV file, so now it's just time to close this and import it. I'll do a file, import. Import 201 is the name of that file. And this is going to be a add update voters. And in this case I have an option. I can give this a group name. It's kind of up to you. In this case what I'll do is say append phone email to specific voters. Match up my columns. Now even though I have names and addresses in this file, I really don't need to import those again unless I change that data. In my case I did not change that data, so I'm going to set these to do not import, and I can do that by doing a tab and a home. Tab, home, tab, home, tab, home, tab, home key. When I say home, I'm referring to the home key. I was updating the home phone, cell phone, business phone, and email. Those were the fields I was updating. And now here's the important thing right here. During the import, merge source data with existing records where appropriate. I'll check mark that box, click OK. The import has begun. Once completed, it tells me that there were 275 voters imported. There were 0 created, and that's what we were after. We didn't want it to be creating any new ones, and that it updated 275. I'll click OK. Watch what happens when I refresh this screen with a search. You'll now see I've got fully populated phone for the cell, phone for the business, and an email address over here for each and every person that was in that list. Scrolling down, you'll see what I've got. And that's how you do an update of existing data by merging during import.